Hello and welcome to the simulation of Adam Fantilli's career. He is projected to go second overall in the draft, so let's see how this plays out. At the start of Fantilli's career, he is on the first line of the Michigan Wolverines. Also, I had to make him American to put him in the NCAA for some reason. Don't worry, I'll change him back. In his first season, he would score 32 points in 24 NCAA games, but the Michigan Wolverines finished 25th in the league, so he would miss the playoffs, and the Buckeyes would go on to win the championship, and the Stanley Cup champions are the Toronto Maple Leafs. In the draft lottery, the Chicago Blackhawks have the highest odds at the first overall pick, followed up by Detroit, but that wouldn't matter as the Sabres would win the draft lottery. Then in the draft, Fantilli would be drafted 13th overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins. In his first season, he would bring home a contract for 3 years for $859,000, and he is up from a 78 to an 80. In his first season, he would be put on the third line with Jason Zucker and Kasperi Kapanen. In his first season, he would pick up 36 points in 82 games, and the Pittsburgh Penguins would just miss the playoffs, getting 4th in their division and 16th in the league. In his second season, Fantilli is up to an 82 and would record 26 points in a full season, and the Penguins would finish 7th in the division and 29th in the league. In his contract year, he is up to an 84, and the Penguins would finish last in the whole league and would put up 51 points in those 82 games. He would take home another contract with the Penguins, 3 years for $4.803 million, and is up to an 86. Fantilli and the Penguins would finish 23rd in the league, and Adam would put up 77 points with his new contract with the Penguins. In year 5, Fantilli is up to an 88. Fantilli and the Penguins would see another year of failure as they would finish 28th in the league. But for the first time in his career, he would put up a point a game, scoring 85 points in 82 games. In what could be his final year as a Penguin, Fantilli is still an 88. He would put up 68 points, and the Penguins would finish 30th, and it looks like Fantilli will not be taking home another contract with the Penguins as he is going to test out free agency. He would eventually sign with the Ducks for 1 year worth $9.195 million, but it would be revealed that he did not sign with the Ducks. He was traded for some guy named Jacob Perreault, who was drafted 27th overall in the 2020 NHL entry draft. Anyway, in his first season with the Ducks uniform on, he would be on the first line with Zegras and Troy Terry. And his first season would become more disappointment as the Ducks would finish 24th in the entire NHL, but Fantilli would put up 87 points, a new career high. Fantilli would actually re-sign with the Ducks for 7 years and $10.661 million, and is still a 90 overall. Fantilli would put up a career high after career high, this time scoring 97 points. And he also won a World Cup with Canada, and to add on, for the first time in his career, he would see the playoffs as the Ducks would finish 13th in the entire league. But unfortunately, in the playoffs, they would be eliminated to the Canucks in 6. In those 6 games, Fantilli would record 4 points. In year 9, he has reached maximum potential as a 92, and he would put up 97 points again. While the Ducks finished 6th in the league, where they would be eliminated to the future Stanley Cup champions, the Ottawa Senators, in 5 games, and he would record 25 points in 23 playoff games. He is still a 92. He would unfortunately put up 80 points in 82 games. Still good, it's just that he hasn't been under a point a game in a while. And we'll see more negativity as the Ducks would finish 25th in the league and miss the playoffs. Fantilli would go down to 190 and would put up 81 points, and the Ducks would finish 8th in the league. Sadly, the Predators would eliminate the Ducks in 4 games, leaving them in the conference finals. In 15 playoff games, he would score 15 points. He's still a 90, but this year was different. Fantilli would blow up, scoring 104 points in 82 games, and the Ducks would blow up too, getting 3rd in the league. Maybe it can take them to a Stanley Cup victory. No, it doesn't. They would get eliminated in the second round to the Sharks in 4, and he would put up 9 points in 13 playoff games. But Adam did win another World Cup, getting 3 points in 9 games. That fantastic season, Fantilli is now up to his maximum potential again to a 92, and got 95 points. The Ducks would finish second below his former team, the Pittsburgh Penguins. This I never expected to happen. Anaheim versus Pittsburgh Stanley Cup Final. This looks like a test to see who won the trade. Jacob Perreault versus for Adam Fantilli. I can't say I didn't see this one coming, but I did. The Anaheim Ducks are Stanley Cup champions, taking down Fantilli's former team in 4 games. A clean sweep. In 23 playoff games, Fantilli would put up 19 points. He was still at 92 in his 30s and would put up 90 points on the dot, while him and his Ducks finished 7th. They would go on to win the Stanley Cup against Montreal Canadiens in a sweep, and in 18 playoff games, Fantilli would put up 20 points. Fantilli would take up a new contract, 5 years for $11.658 million, and is down to a 90 for the second time. But age doesn't seem to stop him, as he would put up 111 points in 82 games. the Ducks would win the President's Trophy too, getting first place in the NHL. Unfortunately, they would be unable to complete the three-peat as they got eliminated in 5 games to the Stars in the conference finals. But he would get 21 points in 18 games. Fantilli is still a 90, a little bit of a down year for Fantilli, only getting 87 points in 82 games, but still very good for someone who is about out of their prime. Anyway, the Ducks would still finish 6th and would win the Stanley Cup again. In 25 playoff games, Fantilli would put up 41 points and would of course win the Conn Smythe for that performance. Fantilli is seeing major regression as he's going all the way down to an 86 overall and would put up 67 points in 82 games. Anaheim would finish 10th though, but would be eliminated to the Knights in 5 games. Fantilli would go on to score 8 points in 13 games. Fantilli is still 86, and this season we would see him get traded to the Devils for a few picks, and he would put up 39 points in a whole regular season. His Devils would finish 26th in the league and would miss the playoffs. In what could be his final season, he is now down to an 84 overall. He would put up 53 points in 82 games. He would retire, though, as a Devil. Here are his stats. Also, his number would be retired by the Ducks. Here are Fantilli's placements in the NHL record book. In the goals record, Fantilli would place 18th in between Bobby Hull and Jerome McGinley with 622. As for assists, he got 809, which places him in 33rd in between Jari Kurri and Pierre Turgeon. And finally, for points, he got 1,431 points, which places him 22nd in between Dale Hawerchuk and Doug Gilmour. As for awards, all he took home was a Conn Smythe and 3 Stanley Cups. Hope you enjoyed this video, and goodbye.